Alright, let's talk about the giant buffering elephant in the room that's been chomping my internet data like an animal. I mean, it is an animal. Can we just get this out of the way? I'm not the biggest fan of streaming becoming the future of gaming. I would accept it as an alternative, but I don't know about living in a world where you play a game that keeps buffering constantly and you have to go from room to room to find a decent connection. At least until the server shut down so you'll never play them again. Oops. That's my fear, but then again, this is Google, so expect the servers to be fine at least for a while. But then again, this is Google. They tend to do this thing where if they don't want something, they just completely euthanize it. So how are the games? Yawn, whatever. I'm pretty sure we know what this game is already. Yawn to the max, and that's about it. I'm willing to give this a shot if I really wanted to, but there's nothing to really convince me since I already have a PS4. Oh, and Destiny 2 is free to play now. Doesn't really change the fact that nothing about it has really convinced me to try it out. Look, I'm sorry, but Destiny always looked kinda to me. Overall, the Stadia Connect was not a disaster for an in-depth look, but it also could have gone better. They had nothing. Okay, maybe they had that Star Wars game, which was fine. I mean, the mechanics are alright, but that's it. I know EA Play gets worse and worse every year, but this is legitimately their worst year. Safe, boring, slow, and just nothing interesting at all. The biggest factor to this failure was how they separated games by half hours. Like, how? How can you talk about these games at that length? There's nothing even interesting about them. It's especially stupid because it just leaves room for slow discussions about the error or whatever. Also, this dude is like a mix between Alex from Y2K and Rad from OKKO.
Red rockets on the roof and ready to roll.
Anyway, moving on. So, they had a lot of stuff this year. Outer Worlds looks pretty interesting, and same goes for Ori 2. In fact, both of them are gorgeous games. If my mind told me to try them out, I definitely would. Bleeding Edge, this game seems to be like a cartoon Anarchy Reigns, and it looks pretty sweet. Speaking of similarities, that new Dragon Ball game is... Come on, it's Xenoverse, don't lie to me. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think it's about time we had a new Minecraft game that wasn't... Well, I mean, how long can he go updating the same game over and over? It happened to TF2 for a while, and that's still happening to Borderlands 2. Seriously, this game's 7 years old. How are you still updating it? And why is it on Android? God, I'm so glad that celebrities are being represented more as characters rather than actors used for promoting a fake video game about shooting bang bang gun. I was already sold on this game, but when you invite this man to the floor, you're striking poses, and the crowd's loving it, man. Okay, I'm just gonna do a speed round. Blair Witch looks like something. Flight Simulator, I hardly know her. Battletoads, it looks alright, except for the Dark Queen. She's not even a character. Psychonauts 2, if I played the first one, I wouldn't be punished for not understanding what's going on. Also, Double Fine was acquired by Microsoft. Tragic. Gears 5. Elden Ring, they said it's going to be another hard RPG, so let me just get this one out for the journalist. This game is the Dark Souls of Game of Thrones. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you. No, thank you. Forza Horizon 4, yeah, this is just Forza DLC. Sorry guys, but you're losing me.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team. Everything is awesome when we're living our dream.
After talking about nothing, they get the Project Starlit, which is coincidentally nothing for now. They say it's gonna be 8K and 120 frames per second, which I'm doubting because I live in today world. Also, Halo. I have to be excited. Woo! Halo's back. He's here. He's Halo. It was okay. Before we get to this section, I'd like to take a moment of silence to a loved one that has recently passed away. A loved one who has clearly touched the hearts of many. Commander Keen may have had a cruel fate, but there is no doubting that he had a wonderful life. And it would be great for him to rest easy and rest knowing how worthwhile his life really was. Got the old Lemmings treatment. Okay, besides that terrible death, what else do we have? Well, Fallout 76 is getting human NPCs and a main quest months after launch. Also, Battle Royale. What a neat concept. Here's a game I know nothing about. Here's a game I know nothing about except I know it's intriguing. Here's DLC. Here's a Switch port. Here's a new Bethesda streaming service. We've been over this. We're not doing it again. And finally, here's a sneak peek of Wolfenstein Youngblood. Yeah, this is Game of the Year. Also, I'm not too bothered by how they showed the Doomslayer's face considering how it's already been shown in the first two games, but it is a little jarring to see it in a modern Doom game. Other than that, this is the only announcement that made me feel something, and the fact that it's all gameplay is so refreshing. I mean, Deathloop was intriguing, but come on, we're talking about Doom here. Well, not anymore. They were alright. Wait, I'm sorry. Are they seriously doing narrative E3 conferences now? Oh, come on. Doing that for game reviews is one thing, but this is just... Really? Come on. Anyway, my friend Pedro looks sick.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Just when he thought things were getting okay, it goes back to boring Oregon. Why is there so much Tom Clancy this year? I feel like if more people asked for Splinter Cell, it would just turn into ClancyCon. I think Roller Champions is the best announcement because I'm more drawn to the fact that it looks more like roller skating Rocket League with controls I can understand. And that's just something we haven't seen before. The new Watch Dogs game is... Well, it's a game. It's more like a payday game, if anything. No, I'll pass. Not even Killer Granny can sell me on this one. Also, Ubisoft has finally announced a long-awaited subscription service called Uplay Plus. I'm noticing a pattern here. Wait, was there even anything else? No? No, not that. Last year was an absolute mess. It was all and then they show a trailer that they already showed before. And it was messy, but hey, you gotta learn somehow. Anyway, what do they have? Well, they had that stupid Life is Strange 2 trailer where it kept on cutting to a bunch of Let's Players reactions for no reason. It almost reminds me of those ads of The Boy for some reason. I don't know why that popped in my mind, but let's just say I somehow remember its existence. Kingdom Hearts 3 is getting DLC and of course has Re in the title because... Hey, it's a Kingdom Hearts game. I really don't want to talk about this again, but these trailers have some of the weirdest sound mixing I've ever heard. I know, it's normal for Japanese game trailers, but it makes more sense for a hyperactive theme that corresponds with the action on screen. But here, even if it's action music, it's still oddly quiet. Might as well just be symbolism at this point. There are no sound effects because Sora is in a world where sometimes words speak louder than actions. There are no voices because no one can hear you scream and therefore understand your pain. That hurt to read. Final Fantasy VIII is getting remastered, which is surprising considering how long they've been able to not port it. But hey, it's happening, so you get a cookie. Avengers was a thing that was announced. It might be Spider-Man level, but... I don't know, I'm still kind of skeptical. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a thing that might actually get me into Final Fantasy VII. Wow. I don't despise turn-based RPGs. Some of them work really well when they do, but with the complicated stats and random encounters many other RPGs have, I'm not sure about getting into some of them. They're not my personal taste, so I can only hope that this remake brings the action it honestly kind of deserves. You know, with this year being one of the most underwhelming E3s in a long time, look, I'll give it to you straight. Nintendo won. There was just a lot of good stuff from left to right. Bam, 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 bam.
No, unacceptable.
And I think there was like one thing that made me confused, which, mind you, is a much better feeling than being angry and bored out of my mind. So I guess there's a new Contra game and everyone's pissed about it, and... yeah, you know what? I can see why. Like, it might be fun, but there's just so much stuff that's holding it back. Like, the graphics and the everything. A 3D Contra could be fun as long as they got the shooting down, which... no, they don't. This game is just begging for a delay. I guess you would say this game is controversial. Alright, aside from that, I feel like everyone got what they want from this conference. Panzer Dragoons, Spyro, Animal Crossing, a sequel to Breath of the Wild, Super Lucky's Tale apparently, and 2 whole DLCs for Smash Bros. Damn. Also, while I may not be the biggest fan of JRPGs, even I can say that if you complained about Dragon Quest being quote-unquote irrelevant, you have no right. You have absolutely no right. So what do we learn from this year's E3? Well, you shouldn't expect everything from everyone. If you expect greatness from EA in this period, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Maybe it's for the best we forget about 2/3 of E3 2019, since most of it didn't really make me feel anything. Anyway, I'll see you guys next month when I review Watching Paint Dry on the TrashGalore YouTube channel. And as always, video games ruin my life. What's this? Oh, it's a Simpsons panel at E3. I don't know what they're doing there, but we could only find out, I guess.
We've got a new tapped out update coming. It's Game of Games, although the battle, oh, there you go.
Oh, look at that.